Every spring, billions of Christians all over the world gather to observe a solemn day of reverence called Good Friday. According to Christian tradition, Good Friday commemorates the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ. This sacred practice has been performed for nearly 2,000 years and involves attending Mass, the veneration of the cross, and elaborate processions. While Good Friday is a somber occasion, the crucifixion is a pivotal event that is at the heart of Christianity.
When you look at the spirituality of the Christian faith, the crucifixion of Jesus is not only a tragedy of death, it's a sign of the sufferings of Jesus. When we think of the crucifixion today, we think of Jesus' wounds when he was crucified, which includes the holes in the hands and the feet, in the side. We think of the crown of thorns. So there are lots of different types of wounds. It reminds us of what Jesus suffered for us.
The crucifixion is clearly a profound cornerstone of the Christian faith. But curiously, for centuries, people have suffered from a rare and disturbing condition that is connected to the death of Jesus Christ. This bizarre affliction is known as stigmata.
Stigmata occurs when an individual is marked in a physical way that represents the wounds that Christ suffered on the cross. Most commonly, stigmata happens in what is referred to as the 5 wounds of Christ, which is 2 in the hands, 2 in the feet, and 1 on the side.
Since the Middle Ages, there have been untold thousands of cases. In the strictest terms, stigmata, although they do involve physical suffering, are considered a blessing, a privilege. It's almost as if the stricken individual is bearing a holy or divine burden.
How can wounds that mirror those of Jesus Christ inexplicably appear on ordinary people? It seems to defy all logic. But perhaps clues about this phenomenon can be found by examining the first documented instance of stigmata.
The first recorded case of stigmata occurred with St. Francis of Assisi in 1224. St. Francis went to the mountains of Laverna to meditate and to pray. And then suddenly, Francis had a vision of a seraphim. A seraphim is a particular kind of angel, a fiery angel with 6 wings. And the seraphim held in his possession the crucifix. His wings were wrapped around Jesus on the cross. And from this crucifix, this image of Jesus, came forth these rays. And these rays penetrated Francis in the form of stigmata. Francis' stigmata was incredibly intense. Nothing like this had ever happened before. And not only did he have wounds that were openly bleeding on his hands, Francis was quite ill after he received the stigmata, and he died 2 years later. Every day of those 2 years, he did, in fact, suffer with stigmata.
Accounts of stigmata are both fascinating and deeply unsettling. For many Christians, they are proof of divine forces at work in our world. But many experts are skeptical and insist that stigmata must have a scientific explanation.
In terms of stigmata-like symptoms, there are some medical conditions that have been attributed to spontaneous bleeding, but it's still very much misunderstood. So there are instances where conditions have been attributed to spontaneous bleeding, but it can't be said that they are the exact cause of stigmata.
When we look at cases of stigmata, it's a very profound experience for those people who are suffering. And we have photographs of modern stigmatics quite agonized with the pain that they had. It's very fascinating. Anything that could represent a true communion with the essence of Jesus Christ is going to be something that people are interested in and want to understand.